All right, so we are live with this FBI press conference. It's going to start maybe in 15 minutes. It was scheduled for 15 minutes ago, but they said that they were going to take 15 more minutes. Let's wait. Well, I haven't done much live streams recently. I did on one the other day. Had this past 36 hours have been absolutely insane. Insane is an understatement. There's so much that has happened. I had a ton of videos to make about this case. So let's see what is ultimately going to happen with the shooter who is in custody. The shooter is in custody right now. We'll have to. Let's see. I'm gonna put the. I'm gonna change faith while we have
Check.
we have the sound. You have the sound. We have I think that it's not necessary to show the screen right now. Well, let's see how what has happened since then. It says a lot has happened. What are the latest developments? Let me see. Do some kind of summary. Put you up to speed. Well, what are the latest development? Donald Trump was on Fox News like 30 minutes ago, 1 hour ago, confirming that they got this suspect in custody. I'm going to mute the background noise. Donald Trump himself confirmed that they got the suspect in custody. That is great, and it seems that was thanks to a minister who cooperated with the suspect's father. So the father was ultimately turned. We assume that is the son. Turn the son in. So the son is in custody right now. We're waiting for the press conference of the FBI. It hasn't started yet. We're waiting for it to get started. Can I add? Maybe I can add to this screen so you can see that it hasn't started yet. How do I add an overlay here? I don't want to do anything. It's the kind of thing that I should be doing beforehand. Here it is. Here's the. We're waiting for this to begin, and while we wait for this to begin, so what? Before that, people were really disappointed with yesterday's FBI's press conference. Kash Patel was there. He didn't look very confident at the moment. He looked like he was a bit lost. I was about to make a body language analysis of that press conference, but since, well, I was just sitting here at my studio. I'm getting ready to do this. Let's do this. And all of a sudden, Trump is on Fox News. They got him. Oh, wait, great. So there's going to be another press conference of the FBI, and then here we are. So I decided to just pause all the crazy video making. I told you in my past live stream, by the way, that I was not going to make. Sorry about the noise. That's the problem with my production. I changed the screen and I didn't notice that you have the noise at the back. Now you can listen to my voice when we are watching the FBI live stream. I will not be talking, so there's no overlap or anything. Yeah, this has been insane. Insane. Smithy Paul. Oh my God, Smithy Paul. You're speaking for so many of us. I sometimes say public drawn and quartering. No, seriously. I always say this. I mean, can you imagine? It would be a win-win situation for so many people. Let's say somebody commits a crime like this, and instead of Trump was also talking about having speedy trials, like 24-hour trials. What do you think about that? You're tried in 24 hours. And then you don't have this lengthy wait and death penalty. But what kind of death penalty? It shouldn't be quick. Shouldn't be painful. Should be spectacular, right? And should be, I've always thought about there's public drawn and quartering, but that is still too fast for my taste, because it's like this. The adrenaline kicks in and the pain goes off rather quickly. But I always thought, think about this. I always thought that after watching this series Shogun recently, very good miniseries, by the way, I remember that there was this execution. It was part torture, part execution, slow boiling. And I said, wow. Slow boiling is like great. You have cameras, you have a big cauldron, you put the criminal on there, and you just put the fire, just a bit, very slow. So you essentially simmer the guy for what? 12 hours, maybe 24 hours. I don't know how much. Very slowly, and make it pay-per-view. You want to watch it live, you just pay in the proceeds, help, for everything, could help the families affected by his crimes. It's a win-win situation. I mean, do I have to come up with all these ideas? Do I have to come up with all the nice ideas? So many of you saying that the dad gets the reward. I think the minister should get the reward. What's a minister? Maybe the dad made this confession to the minister, and the minister says, you know what? You have to hand in. Sorry, I'm going to do this. This is the kind of stuff I do when recording my videos. To hand something in a phrasal verb, meaning to give something to a person in authority. That's, by the way, thanks for so many of you reaching out to me for all my channels. And there's my links in the description of this live. There's my X account. If you ever need to contact me, the fastest way is through my X account. And fastest of anything is go for and tag me. I'm on X basically all day. I should take care of my sleep schedule. It has been special, of course. I think in total, in the last 48 hours, I've slept like 4 or 5 hours in total. It has been a wild ride. It has been horrific. I remember that when I was making a regular analysis, when just pops up on my timeline, Charlie Kirk has been shot, and all right, what I thought was okay, maybe it's not that bad. Maybe it was a handgun or something. Maybe. He got into a lung or the chest or the arm, something like that. Okay, but what the F when I saw the video, what the hell is happening? It's like you instantly know that it's like you instantly know that something is going to break, like worldwide. That what is happening. And it was just a start. Of course, it was gruesome enough, the video. Not to mention, it was gruesome enough. I remember that I had to watch it so many times, as saying that I really wanted him to survive that. But what we had to deal with, still dealing with it, is the amount of subhumans, because there's just no other way to call them, subhumans cheering, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death. And I said, no, wait, okay, maybe you can have maybe it's a small wave, right, of anonymous accounts. And in fact, at first, I just saw anonymous accounts on Reddit. Okay, your usual. It's something that happens all the time. People on Reddit are ultimately crazy. There's a lot of freaks in there. And then began people, okay, on their Facebook accounts. You know that Facebook Americans are like that. And then you begin to see even people on LinkedIn, on X, on Instagram, on TikTok, with their face, their names, everything, celebrating, making dances about Charlie Kirk being shot. Yeah, and I said, okay, maybe this is going to be like a few hours, and people are going to get fired, and that it hasn't stopped. Like it hasn't stopped. And it's great that so many of these accounts, big accounts on X, said, you know what, every single person that you can identify, because if it's an anonymous account, there's little to do. But I mean, if you're using public information, if you are cheering for Charlie Kirk's, if you're happy that Charlie Kirk had been shot, and even happier that he was dead, which is worse enough. It's bad enough. And you're using your very public persona, and you have all your information in your bio. Nobody's doing anything illegal. We're just saying, hey, you are hired, and that is the most disturbing thing. I made a video about that, in which these people were nurses, were teachers, were firefighters, were so many of them are teachers of kindergarten, elementary school, college. Is that, what is this? What is this? So many of you say that Tyler Robinson is the suspect name. All right, I need my glasses. Why am I? Yeah, I need my glasses to be able to. I can look to the camera without no problem. But if I need to read your comments, I need to understand. I need my glasses. So yes, it was horrific, knowing that you are living, and not only in the United States, it's worldwide. People cheering for Charlie Kirk's demise. Oh, that he saw it coming. It's, and everything. And people, most important, people twisting Charlie Kirk's words. Which I don't know if you are on X. If you watch YouTube and you are not on X, where you are closer to sanity than I am, if you are on X, you have my respect. Because yeah, it's a jungle out there. But if you're on X, you might have seen that Stephen King. I don't like to mention morons, but Stephen King said that Charlie Kirk advocated for the stoning of gays, which is absolutely not true. Charlie Kirk state should sue Stephen King into oblivion. Oh yeah, okay. You got your comments. So many times it happens that I'm on a live stream. Doing a live stream sometimes is a bit complicated because there's a lot of technical stuff, especially sound. Right now we're waiting for this to begin. It should begin at any minute. Was 30 minutes ago. They said in 30 minutes we will begin. Still waiting. So we saw this, and yes, I have the ability to do this live streams. I was making all this, my list of video topics. I have a lot of video topics today. So many stuff, so much stuff. I think they are about to begin. This is a photographer getting ready right there, nice angle. And And I understand what is the curse of action. What do we do now? I mean, it's like we are Christians. We want to, I don't know, do the right thing. But what is the right thing to do? Charlie was debating, was having a conversation with the students. Okay, you disagree with him, go and debate him. And I was, people were pitching me videos of suspects, of people who debated him in a very heated way. And I said, oh, okay, that was Charlie's great ability. So, of course, sometimes people got really annoying and Charlie called them out, but that's part of the debate. You have to get aggressive, but those are words. These are just words. You're using words and people get hurt by words. Then this is the thing that I always, so you know that I have, and so many of you are so new to this channel. Welcome to the Battle Language Guy, by the way. So many of you are new to the channel. Yesterday it was 20,000 of you who subscribed to my channel. I was, what is happening? And yes, one thing that I have not been a political commentator for, well, what is it? We are in September. I'm like, I don't know, like a bit more than 1 year. Right after the Biden-Trump debate, I said, well, I'm going to talk more about politics, and then Butler happened. But one thing that happened a lot when Kamala was on the campaign is that I asked people questions. And I made a video about our right to be able to ask questions no matter about whom, about the United States, about the Democrats, about Republicans, about Trump, about Israel, about Netanyahu, about Putin, Zelensky. We want to ask questions because, well, in my case, I'm genuinely curious. I've never claimed that I am know-it-all. I need my camera. This is my camera. I do only one thing in this channel. I connect dots. That's all that I do. It's that simple. I connect dots. And sometimes the dots are body language. Sometimes the dots are statement analysis. Sometimes the dots are 3D models of stuff. Sometimes the dots are maps. Sometimes the dots are all sorts of stuff. And, well, you come here so you share with me. We share a moment here, sometimes live, sometimes offline, to see how the dots connect. And sometimes the dots are just out there and I just present the dots to you so you decide how to connect them, because I never claim to have the ultimate knowledge. So I was talking about Kamala. It happened a lot that I just asked people, what are Kamala Harris' policies? I want to know. You remember that he was running and he was in this campaign. How many days was in total? 104, something like that. And I think we were in 1 month, something like that, 40 days into her campaign. And on her website, no policies to be found. And you went into Donald Trump's website, you still can see the 20 policies he was running on. First one, I think, was mass deportations or something like that. Number 19, I still remember number 19. Never forget that number 19 is really important. It's that make elections safe and secure, paper ballots. At some point, we will have to have very, very important discussions about that, paper ballots. But I asked liberals and Democrats on my timeline, because so many of them were still following me until I said, well, I'm going to support Trump, and so many of them insulted me, and so many of them went away. Tell me about Kamala's policies. But at the same time, I couldn't really ask them about Kamala's policies because she had no policies. Literally, she had no policies on her website, so they couldn't answer that question. And then I said, which have been Kamala's and Biden's policies so far, and people got upset, and they never answer the questions. And I just with questions, these people, that is the problem. That's why they get so upset by words. Sometimes you don't even have to make statements. Yeah, I say something, this is such and such. No, sometimes you don't even have to do that. Sometimes you just ask them a genuine question. What is your stance on this? What is your policy about this? That's what I did when I asked them about Kamala. And a very easy question. Why did Kamala didn't do what she intended to do as president while she was being the VP? Nobody could answer that. They just insulted me. They just did ad hominem attacks. There was not one liberal that could debate. It was not even a debate. It's simple curiosity. I've joked sometimes about changing this channel's name to the Curiosity Guy, because it's just something. It will sound like the robot in Mars. But no, that's all what we do here. Yes, one thing is that sometimes we discuss topics that simply have no straight answer, and most topics in this life are not black and white. Sometimes they have nuances. That is the hardest part. Okay, are we ready to begin? Are we ready to begin? Yes, no? What is that? Oh, that is a hat. What is he holding? What is that? So, most of the time, there are nuances. There are nuances in what we do. All right, we're ready to begin? Yes?
So, still no official word on the start time. We will try to give at least a 5-minute warning on that, but we'll do our best on that. So.
No, not yet. We are not getting started yet. So that is the problem. They get offended by words. How can you get offended by words? How can you get hurt by words? Words can hurt you. It's like the David Goggins book, Can't Hurt Me. No, you cannot be hurt by words. Words can hurt you if you feel offended by them. And you usually get offended by two reasons. The first reason is that the other person is right and you don't have any argument to debate them. And the second reason is that your argument makes no sense. It's like, okay, you have an argument about an idea or a concept or something, and the other person just asks a question about that. Doesn't even have to say that, oh, what you say makes no sense. Real debate, let's say, persuasion is knowing how to ask the right questions. And you ask questions so the other people realizes that what they are saying makes no sense. And they will realize either that they don't have the answer, or, yeah, what they say most likely contradicts themselves. And they get angry because they want to get away with whatever they do with absolutely no pushback. They want to get away with crazy policies. They want to get away chopping boys' dicks. They want to get away with so many stuff. And you say, hey, no, wait a second. We cannot afford that. That's not how we roll here. That's not the way that we act in this country. And again, has been so many experience. Have been so many experience, especially with, let's say, the soft war. The soft war would be socialism. That is a soft war. That is a kind of a way too soft war. They say that socialism is almost it's like poetic. No, it's not like that. All of that is pure Marxism. They want you dead. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. They want us dead. It's that simple. You say, let's debate them. I want to ask you questions about Kamala. Why are you supporting Kamala? Why is Kamala saying that she's going to do something that she hasn't done in 4 years? Death threats. Why? No. I genuinely, I would like, I crave a good debate. I crave a good debate. But at the same time, I need to realize I've been studying mass media for decades. I've been studying mass psychology for decades. And for example, I know that what Stephen King said about Charlie Kirk, that Charlie Kirk is advocate for the stoning of gays, which is false. I know that so many people will take Stephen King at face value. And the thing is that it's not because Stephen King is an authority in the subject of Charlie Kirk. Is that so many people have already made up their minds about Charlie Kirk, maybe not even through Charlie Kirk's own words, but they have made up their mind through the lies of so many other people twisting Charlie Kirk's words. They most likely, that happens a lot. And in that regard, I have to say, I have to be fair. That's something that every single camp does. It doesn't matter. If you're into politics, you know that you have to take control of the rhetoric. You have to do that. Now, if you make it violent because you cannot convince people otherwise, well, then yeah, you're the bad guy. You're the bad guy. There's so many stuff, so much stuff. I'm not gonna pretend. To make good politics, you have to tell the truth all the time. That is simply not possible. We are adults here. We're adults here. We know at this point, so many of you are over 30 years old. So many of you are over 40 years old. You know how this works. There's a very zoom of the mic now. We're ready to begin almost. We're adults here. We know how politics work. You have to, as Scott Adams says, you at least, or at the minimum is to be directionally correct. I think those are the words. What is being directionally correct? Directionally correct is like when Donald Trump said, there are 10 million illegals in the country. And people say, there's no 10 million illegals. That is, I remember having an actual discussion with, not gonna give details about that, on that topic. 10 million illegals. No, the real number is more like 7 million. What did Trump do? Trump said 10 million illegals in the United States. And the real number, I don't know, it's 7 million. Then Scott Adams has this term, but I think it's directionally correct. Trump is not exactly lying. You could say that Trump is exaggerating. But at the end of the day, when it comes down to what really matters, what you want as a healthy country is that he is literally directionally correct. He is correct in the right direction, even if he can be hyperbolic sometimes, even if he can. I wanted to make a video about how Trump sometimes can be misleading. Thank you, Stinky, for your super chat. Oh my God, so super chats coming in. I'm going to mention your super chats right now in a minute, but let me finish this idea. Sometimes Trump says things just two reasons. It's when he said the 600,000 Chinese students from China. Well, where else are they coming from? And everybody lost their minds. I made a video like in 5 minutes. Trump said this. And some are saying, that was a strategy. It was not a strategy. Even Howard Lutnick had to go on Fox News to try to explain, to try to spin what Donald Trump had said. And I can understand that sometimes Trump does that kind of stuff just to give the media something to chew on. Even if he's not going to be real about that, even if he's going to take that back 48 hours later, he does all the time. He does it all the time. Oh, Trump is a compulsive liar. Sometimes you have to give the media some kind of bait to chew on. That's something that all these are strategies. I mean, it's like, I am not a specialist in political communication, but I have studied mass communication extensively, and there's a huge overlap between the two. And some were saying, as you're mentioning in the chat, that the Chinese students were to so the economy of American universities didn't crumble, and people were saying the obvious. Well, if the economy of American universities depend on foreign students, then let it all crumble to the floor. And yes, well, that is something that was the sentiment of so many people, and I can understand that. Why would that be a thing? Why would that be this H-1B thing? Be so controversial in the terms that I remember that I said, I think it was not long after Trump had been elected, that Trump said, we have to bring the best brains to the United States. I said, well, he's right, but you need a strong vetting process. And when he says we need to bring the best brains to the United States, we are not talking about millions. No, we couldn't be talking about millions. We couldn't be talking about hundreds of thousands. No, we could be talking at most at tens of thousands, if not just thousands, because we're talking about the most brilliant minds. For example, if you want the most brilliant minds, I learned this from a friend who works in the video game industry, and he told me that these industries are constantly poaching each other for talent. As in, but isn't there a lot of people out there, I don't know, working on what you do? So many of you have designers, you have programmers, you have all this. Yeah, but the very good ones, the extremely good ones are a dime a dozen. That is the problem. So yeah, they're constantly poaching. We are talking about, like, you have something very specific for gaming industry, and you have 4 or 5 people in the world that can do it right. And I said, all right, so it goes like this. So it happens also with AI. Everything is talking about AI right now. Everything is just, so excited about AI. I am not so, oh my God, huge zoom on the Warcraft gamer. So I am not that excited about AI right now. I've seen the limitations. I've seen a huge roadblock. I'm still waiting for 1 or 2 guys in the world to figure out how to break that roadblock in AI. And granted, if you ask me, Jesus, what do you think would be the nationality of those 1 or 2 guys who would be the ones to just break the roadblock of today's AI? They would be Chinese. There's no discussion about that. 1 or 2 of them. And you can imagine that if Trump says, okay, all right, I forgot moderation. Wait a second. Remind me, we're talking about AI. It's talking about all right. So we were talking about AI. See, it's going to be two guys. That's going to be 2 guys. It's going to be just 2 guys. 2 Chinese guys. And if Trump says we're going to bring the best brains to the United States, maybe 2 Chinese guys, maybe 3 Indian guys, maybe 1 guy, I don't know, from maybe from Russia, perhaps. Why not? And that's pretty much it, because you will have one or two that are brilliant in nuclear power, then other two who are great at I don't know, at biology or AI or whatever. When you think about it, if you truly want to disrupt industries and you want to have the best of the best, it wouldn't be it would be like the Manhattan Project. It would be like 100 people and that's it. It would be 100 people and that's it. Yeah, apologies. I remember that I had I remember that I said at some point that if I made lives, I'm going to just limit that to members. You can also want to support my channel, you can become a member of my channel, by the way. But I was going to limit the comments to members if things get too hectic. So I will limit the comments to members. But for now, I think we can be like that. Don't get too concerned with the trolls. There's always going to be trolls here and there. Something that is natural. Sometimes we cannot avoid that. And so many of you loving my show, thank you. I really appreciate your words. And yeah, so it's like the communication in the war of words. There's a lot to be said. So Trump is going to say things that's going to upset people on both sides. Why is he saying that 600,000 Chinese started? That happens. He's going to do that. Maybe he wants to test the waters. And sometimes the wrong people are going to take the bait. Because when he began talking about that, we need to bring the most brilliant brains to the United States, and so many people were okay with that. And I said, okay, that is great. Everyone needs to understand that the current race in terms of economy, in terms of technology, in terms of everything, the market is global. It's not local, it's global. So you're essentially, as these industries of gaming, of AI are poaching each other, countries are poaching their best brains. And that's something that I've always thought that. I think that's fair in a free market of brains or talented people. Every country should say, okay, we are going to make sure to be the ideal destination for anyone who wants to work on nuclear power or solar power or AI or whatever initiatives of this. That is the idea. So you make your country as favorable as you can for those brains, right? And then they decide, maybe there's this guy in Russia and says, hey, you know what? I would prefer working in the United States. That sounds, I know that I am the only one who does this really good. I have these offers. It's like Mark Zuckerberg, the lizard from Meta, offering these huge packages of what? 100 million, 200 million. It's insane. 500 million to one guy. It's like 4 or 5 people for his AI project. And even there was one guy that he offered $1 billion. Insert Dr. Evil meme. $1 billion. What is that? It's $1 billion for one guy. Yeah, over the course of you will essentially be Mark Zuckerberg's slave for 10 years, granted, to be able to see the whole $1 billion. You see, there's maybe how much is that in terms of actual slavery? I don't know. I love that you call him lizard. Well, he's a lizard. He's a lizard. Everybody jokes about that. He's a lizard. Hey, what's he gonna do? He's gonna sue me? Okay, we're about to begin.
Hello, testing. Hi, everyone. We are 4 minutes out from starting the press conference. Thank you.
All right, so we are 4 minutes out. You heard her. I'm gonna mute for a second. So again, it's we have words. We have to. So many people say we need to have a conversation with them. But Charlie tried to have a conversation literally, and he was shot dead. So the question is, as everybody's saying, as Matt Walsh is saying, is Steven Crowther. Sometimes I disagree with Matt Walsh as well. I sometimes disagree with Crowther. I disagree with Candace Owens. I can disagree with Ben Shapiro. Sometimes I agree with them, most often than not. Sometimes I think that, especially Candace Owens, that lady can be insane. But I like the way that she has this conviction. You need to have conviction. I should watch Candace Owens more frequently to have that convictions in your ideas. Almost speak like Schwarzenegger, like, with that accent. But Matt Walsh was saying that the right, the conservatives, we need to unite and leave our differences like apart, out the door. But at the same time, there's a lot of infighting. There's a lot of infighting, and we know that it happened exactly the same in Venezuela. I'm from Venezuela, so many of you don't know. It happened exactly the same in Venezuela because we felt like we were the voice of reason while the others were just a chip. That's like they got a chip, and every single red beret, every single Chavista, every single Madurista had the exact same narrative instantly. It's like you have in Miraflores, you have Chavez with a update, and he pressed a button, and everyone got the memo, and everybody got the same narrative simultaneously on the left. And then we, the conservatives, I was pretty much like I would say like 20 years ago, I was basically apolitical. I didn't pay much attention to politics, and well, I never voted for anything from the left, but at the same time, I did not vote for the opposite team when Chavez rose to power, so I always feel bad about that. Skill issue. So, they are like bot programmed. It's like they don't have, they live in fear. Libtards live in fear. What do I mean by that? They don't want to go against the narrative of the hive, because oh my God, no, I need. What do you agree on? What do we agree on today? What do we agree on today? Oh, we agree. 1 year ago, 2 years ago, nuclear power is dangerous. No, you cannot have it. That is bad. No, we cannot have nuclear power. Now they like nuclear power. Why? Because their overlords had told them, hey, you know what? We need a lot of electricity for AI, so we need a nuclear power. Now nuclear power is good. All right, so Germany is fucked. Sorry for the word. Absolutely wrecked. Because they, in the appeasing to the woke mob, they destroyed the nuclear site. So this is a mess. But this is the thing. So how do you solve that? For me, it has always been unsolvable. I don't know how to solve that. I don't know what we could do right now. Because they are always going to act like a hive mind. It's like Starship Troopers. It's like that. Starship Troopers, they're just bugs. They have the hive mind that controls them all, and we have critical thinking. That's why always conservatives, the right, call it what you want, we are fighting each other. No, this should be the right approach. No, this is maybe you are more religious than me. Maybe you like conservative values, but you are not religious. There's a lot of stuff going on in there, and that is essentially the beauty of having the right to have your own convictions, to have your own opinions, to be able to debate and say, hey, you know what? Let's try to get to the point of what we can agree on and work on that and make America or Venezuela or any country in the world great again. But that is simply not possible. And you know that these people, these libtards, these demons are constantly pushing agendas like immigration, totally unfettered immigration to absolutely wreck the election system so they never lose an election again. It's something that I always think about that. What I remember that there's a book. I forgot about that book. What would happen if Hitler had won? And there's this famous fiction book. If you can remind me in the comments, there's this famous fiction book that talks about what if the Third Reich had prospered. And I always remember about that book when I think about Kamala being president right now. Oh my God. Oh my God. That would be insane. And I tell people, for me, it would have been incredible amounts of content. It's like so many people with left-wing YouTube accounts. And I'm trying to remember that book. I'm paying attention to your comments, but a lot of comments. The man in the high tower, USA, my vet. We have a winner here. Where's USA, my vet? I don't see you. My high castle. Oh, Roberto also Alex Popa. Thank you. Cafe Emox Tower Castle. Yeah, it's. You are being man in the high castle. Thank you, high tower. Thank you. All of you are being, if you have been watching the live stream since early, all of you are being directionally correct. Okay, the man in the high castle, the man in the high tower. You look for that, and ChatGPT will find it for you. That is the book. I remember that novel, and. It is so great having these conversations. It's something a bit overwhelming because you send so many amazing comments on my videos, and upon minutes of uploading, I had like 2,000 comments or something like that. I try to keep up. I try to keep up with all that. It's a bit different, and depends on the translation. Very good. Thank you for that. That is important. It's a show as well. But I remember the Man of the High Castle is a show. Oh my God, is that a lack of sleep is getting to me? Lack of sleep is getting to me. You can consume only so much caffeine at some point. At some point, the caffeine effects have diminishing returns. That was a show. All right. I really don't remember. I don't have I am, by the way, I am a one-man operation here. I am a one operation here. I don't have, I'm not like a Joe Rogan. Jamie, can you pull that one for me, please? No, there's no Jamie in here. There's no Jamie. There's no Jamie in here to help me. So I have you in all cases to help me with this one, but I just try to look at your comments and figure out. I remember that there was one book. If I try to remember. Oh, how long? No. Was I remember it was No, I remember that The Man in the High Castle was a show, a novel as well. I found the book that I was thinking, but I had forgotten the cover. All right. Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. This is at some point. Yeah, this is lack of sleep. This is lack of sleep. The Man in the High Castle is a novel by Philip K. Dick. How can I forget a novel by Philip K. Dick? I have so much stuff in my brain. How can I leave a novel by Philip K. Dick out of the equation? No, the book that I was talking about, I forgot, is Fatherland by Robert Harris. Some of you have read that book, I'm pretty sure, Fatherland by Robert Harris. Fatherland is a 1992 alternative history detective novel in English by English writer and journalist Robert Harris. We're about to begin. Set in a world where the Axis won World War II. Let's do this.
At today's press conference, we will hear from Governor Cox, FBI Director Kash Patel, and Sheriff Mike Smith. We also have with us Utah DPS Commissioner Bo Mason, Lieutenant Governor Deidre Henderson, FBI Special Agent in Charge Robert Bowles, and local and federal law enforcement partners. Following the remarks today, Governor Cox, Director Patel, and Commissioner Mason will take questions. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI. Investigators reviewed additional video footage from UVU surveillance and identified Robinson arriving on UVU campus in a gray Dodge Challenger at approximately 8:29 a.m. on September 10th, in which he is observed on video in a plain maroon t-shirt, light-colored shorts, a black hat with a white logo, and light-colored shoes. When encountered in person by investigators in Washington County on September 12th in the early morning hours, Robinson was observed in consistent clothing with those surveillance images. Investigators interviewed a family member of Robinson who stated that Robinson had become more political in recent years. The family member referenced a recent incident in which Robinson came to dinner prior to September 10th, and in the conversation with another family member, Robinson mentioned Charlie Kirk was coming to UVU. They talked about why they didn't like him and the viewpoints that he had. The family member also stated Kirk was full of hate and spreading hate. The family member also confirmed Robinson had a gray Dodge Challenger. Investigators identified an individual as the roommate of Robinson. Investigators interviewed that roommate, who stated that his roommate, referring to Robinson, made a joke on Discord. Investigators asked if he would show them the messages on Discord. He opened it and showed several messages to investigators and allowed investigators to take photos of the screen as each message was shown by Robinson's roommate. These photos consisted of various messages, including content of messages between the phone contact named Tyler with an emoji icon and Robinson's roommate's device. The content of these messages included messages affiliated with the contact Tyler, stating a need to retrieve a rifle from a drop point, leaving the rifle in a bush, messages related to visually watching the area where a rifle was left, and a message referring to having left the rifle wrapped in a towel. The messages also refer to engraving bullets and a mention of a scope and the rifle being unique. Messages from the contact Tyler also mentioned that he had changed outfits. I know there has been speculation as well as to the writing on those casings, those bullet casings, and I believe we have that as well. And I will share that with you now. So the area north of Campus Drive Road where the suspect crossed over, you saw some of that in the video that we released last night, consists of a grassy area with trees on the edge of the UVU campus. Investigators discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a dark-colored towel. The rifle was determined to be a Mauser Model 98 30-06 caliber bolt-action rifle. The rifle had a scope mounted on top of it. Investigators noted inscriptions that had been engraved on casings found with the rifle. Inscriptions on a fired casing read, "Notices bulges, capital OWO, what's this?" ? Inscriptions on the 3 unfired casings read, "Hey fascist!" ! Catch! ! Up arrow symbol, right arrow, and symbol, and 3 down arrow symbols. A second unfired casing read, "Oh Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Bella Chow, Chow Chow," and a third unfired casing read, "If you read this, you are gay, LMAO." We are indebted to law enforcement across the state who has worked seamlessly together, local law enforcement, state law enforcement, and our federal partners with the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We're grateful for everyone who worked together in such a short amount of time to find this person and to bring justice. I want to thank the public who has been so engaged, reviewing videos, helping us with sending in tips, and helping us get to this point. I want to thank the family members of Tyler Robinson who did the right thing in this case and were able to bring him into to law enforcement as well. I especially want to thank the family of Charlie Kirk, Erica, Charlie's parents, his children. I want us to be thinking of them as we bring justice in this case. They will be involved in that justice. We will be working very closely with them as we move through this process as well. This is a very sad day for our country, a terrible day for the state of Utah, but I'm grateful that at this moment we have an opportunity to bring closure to this very dark chapter in our nation's history. With that, I will now turn the microphone over to the Director of the FBI, Kash Patel.
Thank you, Governor. This is what happens when you let good cops be cops. The FBI and our partners are proud to stand here today together to bring justice to the family of Charlie Kirk and honor his memory. I want to express my deep gratitude to President Trump, the Vice President, and the entire White House who have been so incredibly supportive with both resources and just personally to the FBI as a team. They had our backs the entire way, and I just want to express my gratitude for giving us the resources we need to operate in this space to bring this sort of justice at this sort of speed. In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie. Governor Cox, our partnership has been absolutely incredible these last few days. Our partnership will endure. Your state and local partners, your sheriffs, your DPS community has been unbelievably impressive in the hardest of times. And a case like this cannot be solved, cannot be brought without partnering with your state and local authorities. The FBI has a certain role to play, and we will play that role, and we will lead out for the federal government. But Governor Cox, we are so grateful for your state partnership that led out on this investigation. A little bit of the timeline. Charlie was shot at 12:23 p.m. on Wednesday. The first FBI agents arrived on scene in 16 minutes with chiefs of police at 12:39 and secured the scene. The FBI immediately launched fixed-wing assets. We utilized these assets to transport personnel, specialty technicians, hostage rescue teams. We also utilized these assets to go back and forth from the East Coast and here in Utah to transport forensic evidence and other evidence that will be analyzed and is being analyzed at our FBI laboratories in Quantico and other laboratories, including the ATF. At my direction, the FBI released the first set of FBI photos of the suspect at 10 a.m. local time on 9/11. Then, shortly thereafter, the FBI reward of $100,000 was released at 10:45 a.m. local. Myself and Deputy Director Bongino arrived on the scene at approximately 5:30 p.m. on 9/11. The governor led a press conference last night at approximately 8 p.m. where at my direction the FBI released a never-before-seen video of the suspect. We also released new images to the public of the suspect. And just last night, the suspect was taken into custody at 10 p.m. local time. In less than 36 hours, 33 to be precise. Thanks to the full weight of the federal government and leading out with the partners here in the state of Utah and Governor Cox, the suspect was apprehended in a historic time period. And I want to highlight what Governor Cox said. This would not have been possible without you, the media, and you, the public. That's why we went so public, so fast, and we're so transparent, and we're committed to that transparency. The crime scene, just a little bit there. It is a large crime scene. State and local authorities, along with federal authorities, processed that crime scene quickly. And I even had the ability to walk through that crime scene and walk through the steps the suspect took to learn more about what was needed and what resources we needed to bear to create a full picture for the FBI and leadership back in Washington. Furthermore, thankfully to state and local partners, forensic evidence has been seized and continues to be garnered. Forensic evidence has already been evaluated at FBI laboratories in Quantico and state and local authorities here. We will continue to process evidence as we see it, as we collect it, and we will continue to deliver to Governor Cox and his team. Last night, we had a total of approximately 7,000 7,000 leads. As of this morning, thanks to your great work, we have over 11,000 leads that were called in to the FBI. And we are running out every single lead that we can. Every one of those leads will be run out. The arrest is a testament to the dedication of good law enforcement being great and partnerships in law enforcement, which I've tried to highlight as my tenure as the director of the FBI. There is no better relationship for law enforcement than the FBI to partner with state and local authorities, and you've seen it here in these last few days. The FBI Salt Lake Field Office, along with our offices in LA, Phoenix, Denver, San Antonio, Las Vegas, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, our headquarters component in Quantico, all participate in the FBI. I want to express my deep gratitude to the employees of the FBI, the men and women, the evidence response team tacticians, the special operators, the agents, the support staff. You have done monumental work in historic time when the public, who had a right to demand such an expeditious solving of an investigation, the FBI answered that call diligently, critically important to our nation, and we delivered. And I'm proud to be their leader, and I'm proud to be the director of the FBI. This is very much an ongoing investigation, as the governor said, and we will continue to work with state and local authorities to develop the investigation, to provide them the evidence they need for their ongoing prosecutions, and we will be here to answer every call they absolutely have, as long as it takes, for as long as we need to find and apprehend whatever suspects were involved in this crime. Lastly, to my friend Charlie Kirk, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and I'll see you in Valhalla.
Thank you, and good morning. I would just like to take a few minutes as the sheriff to express my gratitude for everybody who has played a part in this investigation. As you know, it's been a vast, a complicated, and a very, very fast-paced investigation. You're looking at people standing up here who are running on, if they got an hour's sleep in the last couple of days, they're probably lucky. It has been very taxing. It has been so impressive, speaking on behalf of the local law enforcement, to see the cooperation that we've seen in this type of case. Across the state, sheriffs, chiefs, our state partners have stepped up and have come to the call on anything that we needed. Our county chiefs have been phenomenal. Our Utah County Attorney, Jeff Gray, who's standing up here with us, has been phenomenal in leading us through this investigation. I would like to thank the federal government for their resources, their assets. Our local team here, our FBI team, has been extraordinary in helping us work through this and bring this person to justice. Most of all, I would like to thank the public, and specifically, I would like to thank the public who turned to prayers and who turned to positiveness for us. I would like to thank them on behalf of the law enforcement community, because we needed those prayers That's what we needed to get through this. We needed your support, and you gave it to us. We needed your patience, and you gave it to us. And I would like to thank you for the Kirk family, because that's what they need, is your support and your prayers, and that will get us through all of this. So thank you, everybody, for everybody that have stepped up. We've had such a phenomenal response to this. Thank you.
I also want to give a special thanks to the Attorney General and the Department of Justice. Their unwavering support and their commitment to justice is shown true here. And without AG Bondi and Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche and the resources they brought to bear, we would not have been able to complete our mission. And I just want to say special thanks. It's an honor to be a part of the Department of Justice.
Thank you again to our incredible law enforcement team who has worked so hard. Sheriff, I got a solid 90 minutes last night, so I'm probably the most well-rested person up here. Ladies and gentlemen, I get the microphone, so I hope you'll permit me a moment just to share a few more thoughts about where we are and how we got here, and maybe a little bit of where we go from here. I don't want to get too preachy, but I think it's important that we, with eyes wide open, understand what's happening in our country today. I've heard people say, well, why are we so invested in this? There's violence happening all across our country, and violence is tragic everywhere. And every life taken is a child of God who deserves our love and respect and dignity. This is certainly about the tragic death, political assassination of Charlie Kirk. But it is also much bigger than an attack on an individual. It is an attack on all of us. It is an attack on the American experiment. It is an attack on our ideals. This cuts to the very foundation of who we are, of who we have been, and who we could be in better times. Political violence is different than any other type of violence for lots of different reasons. One, because in the very act that Charlie championed of expression, that freedom of expression that is enshrined in our founding documents, in having his life taken in that very act, makes it more difficult for people to feel like they can share their ideas, that they can speak freely. We will never be able to solve all the other problems, including the violence problems that people are worried about, if we can't have a clash of ideas safely and securely. Even, especially those ideas with which you disagree. That's why this matters so much. Over the last 48 hours, I have been as angry as I have ever been, as sad as I have ever been.
Wait a second. It's my bad. What is the sounding? Oh my god, this sometimes happens. Where's the sound? I don't have any idea what happened with the sound. Let me see if I reload here.
That we can choose a different path. Your generation has an opportunity to build a culture that is very different than what we are suffering through right now. Not by pretending differences don't matter, but by embracing our differences and having those hard conversations. I think we need more moral clarity right now. I hear all the time that words are violence. Words are not violence. Violence is violence. And there is one person responsible for what happened here. And that person is now in custody and will be charged soon and will be held accountable. And yet, all of us have an opportunity right now to do something different. I want to thank my fellow Utahns. You know, this bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us. That somebody drove from another state, somebody came from another country. Sadly, that prayer was not answered the way I had hoped for, just because I thought it would make it easier on us if we could just say, hey, we don't do that here. And indeed, Utah is a special place. We lead the nation in charitable giving. We lead the nation in service every year. But it did happen here. And it was one of us. But I want you to look at how Utahns reacted the last 2 nights. There was no rioting. There was no looting. There were no cars set on fire. There was no violence. There were vigils and prayers and people coming together to share the humanity. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe is the answer to this. We can return violence with violence. We can return hate with hate. And that's the problem with political violence, is it metastasizes. Because we can always point the finger at the other side. And at some point, we have to find an off-ramp, or it's going to get much, much worse. But see, these are choices that we can make. History will dictate if this is a turning point for our country. But every single one of us gets to choose right now if this is a turning point for us. We get to make decisions. We have our agency. And I desperately call on every American, Republican, Democrat, liberal, progressive, conservative, MAGA, all of us to please, please, please follow what Charlie taught me. I'll just conclude with words I share often from a friend, an author, Yuval Levin, who was asked if he was optimistic about our country. And he said, I'm not optimistic. He said, I hate optimism. Like, that sounds bad. But he said, optimism is a vice. It's this idea that good things are just going to happen. And he said, in the history of the world, good things have never just happened. He says, I'm not optimistic, but I am hopeful. And hope is the virtue that sits between the vices of optimism and pessimism. Hope is the idea that good things are going to happen because we can make them so. I still believe in our country. And I know Charlie Kirk believed in our country. I still believe that there is more good among us than evil. And I still believe that we can change the course of history. I'm hopeful because Americans can make it so. Ladies and gentlemen, we're happy to answer any questions you might have.
Governor, can you please speak to whether the suspect is speaking with authorities and his demeanor, Tyler Robinson, when he turned himself in?
I cannot speak to that right now.
Governor, how do you interpret the agreement on casing?
Well, I will leave that up to you to interpret what those engravings mean. I think the clearest one that says "catch fascist," there's not. And by the way, that's like catch like a ball, catch this. That's I think that speaks for itself.
Governor, you indicated that he had been communicating.
Please.
This level of hatred that this person expressed in the dinner. Beyond that, is there anything in your view that you discovered that may have radicalized or changed him to prompt him to commit such a horrific?
There's nothing more that we can share at this time.
Governor,
Yeah,
you
please.
indicated that he had been communicating with a friend on Discord about the gun. Do you
You give it the opportunity to ask questions?
We do not at this time have any information that would lead to any additional arrests.
believe he acted alone?
Yes, but the investigation is ongoing.
How he came into custody of police and where he is right now, Mr. Robinson?
Yes, so right now, Mr. Robinson has been booked into the Utah County Jail. You heard the president this morning report that he was taken into custody, that his family and a friend helped to deliver him into custody of law enforcement in Washington County. For those of you that don't know where Washington County is, it is the southwesternmost part of the state of Utah. It's about a 3.5 to 4 hour drive from here, where we are right now, and that's where he lived and where they turned him in. Please, I'll go here. I can't share any more than what I've already shared. Yeah. So how we obtained the gun was found here. So I don't have much more details on that. We do know that he drove. We had his car here on campus, and then we had his car going south back to the St. George. It's actually the city of Washington in Washington County.
Is he talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I'm sorry? We don't have any information that would lead us to believe that. Yes, in fact, it was just released. Yes.
Talking with authorities and did he discuss a motive?
I can't answer that right now. Yeah, thank you. Over here.
What?
I absolutely believe that this is a watershed in American history. Yes. The question is, what kind of watershed? And that chapter remains to be written. Is this the end of a dark chapter in our history, or the beginning of a darker chapter in our history? Look, I mean, if you look at true political assassinations in this country of someone of this stature, this feels a lot like the late 60s, and having one so gruesomely displayed on camera in all of our hands and in all of our pockets. We are not wired as human beings biologically, historically. We have not evolved in a way that we are capable of processing those types of violent imagery. And by the way, we've seen another one with a gruesome stabbing very recently that went viral. This is not good for us. It is not good to consume. Social media is a cancer on our society right now. And I would encourage people to log off, turn off, touch grass, hug a family member, go out and do good in your community. There are people that is happening, man. And it's happening organically.
Fuck off. Fuck that. Fuck all the way. Fuck off, man. Basically, we are the ones. I'm gonna mute this bit. We are the ones. We are the ones who have done so much goddamn work in so many ways in exposing precisely what you're complaining about. But I had to interrupt this tool. I'm not going to continue with this. This is no. It's social media is cancer. I'm gonna tell you, Baldy, what is cancer? It's the people who advocate for the killing, for the death of the people that they don't like the words they say. Those are the cancer. not social media. Oh, guns are the problem. Guns kill people. Fuck off. It's social media is like a hammer. It's like a rifle. It's that simple as that. It's a tool. I'm not gonna. This guy is not answering. Yeah, it's absolutely. Go away, man. This is it's so upsetting. What is this guy talking about? What is this guy talking about? He began rambling like he was JFK or something. What's not what the country can do for you, but what can you do for your country? What the fuck, man? What is that? It was mostly okay, as when they were, we know that, I'm not going to continue with this. We know that they cannot answer like anything because it's an ongoing investigation. Wait a second. Let me go to see my panel here. I lost my panel. Where's my panel? Right here. Is that I hope that when he says the ongoing investigation, that this is about, all right, so let's find out who helped this guy, because I cannot imagine that guy worked alone. I don't know. It doesn't feel like that guy worked alone. And all the guy who they arrested for, there was a yelling, and the other guy who jumped and was celebrating. Are you going to look into that? That's what matters. We don't want a pep talk, especially saying that, oh, log off social media, touch some grass. No, man, no. No. You know who has to touch some grass? I'm going to tell you who has to touch some grass. Any of those demons they're already going away. They're already going away. As he ended the press conference. Those demons who celebrate death, who kill babies, who chop boys' dicks, those are the ones who should touch some grass, go to church, pray to God for their souls that they are almost losing. I don't know. It's something that it's so upsetting. And again, it's this. What is all that? You're having a press conference. The idea of the press conference is to give information about the case. All right. If you know that you will not be able to answer 90% of the questions, you will not take any questions, because that is absurd. And if you know that there's going to be a little problem answering to questions, please cut to the chase and cut all the fluff. That is we are a divided nation. Let the president deal with that part. Let the president give the words. Let other people. I think that is not your job. So no, it's really upsetting. It's really upsetting. And it's saying like, oh, it's something that I couldn't. It's something I couldn't. I couldn't. I know that I tried to make my channel family friendly, but when he said, the social media's cancer is you. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking. I'm not gonna say what I'm thinking, but it is so upset. It's like I'm gonna make a video, by the way, about all those morons. Let's tone down the rhetoric right now. All those morons on both sides. They say, "Oh no, the hate speech, the verbal violence is from both sides." No, the moment somebody says that the hate is from both sides, I think that I'm not gonna name. I'm gonna make the video properly. I'm not gonna name anybody right now. I'm not gonna trust my memory after so many hours with a lack of sleep. But when you say, the moment they say, "Oh, the hate is from," and how many body bags have been needed on each side? For real. Who are the mostly peaceful protesters? Tell me about that. I will wait. This is so infuriating. I don't know. I need to take a second look at that, because why would you do all that verbal fluff? Do all that stuff? It's just that, oh yeah, there's a country divided. Go touch some grass. No, it's way too much. It was odd, by the way, so many times that Kash Patel said, we solved that in 33 hours. 33 hours. All right. Okay. So, nice. We have the mugshot, by the way. I also have the mugshot here. Let's see if we can see it. Here's the guy. Here's the mugshot of the guy, and it basically fits the pictures that we had in other instances. Let me see if I can switch to my video processing software so we can compare it. Perhaps, where are the other pictures? The other pictures are here. So basically, I'm gonna do some kind of magic in here. There's the mugshot, and bring the mugshot closer to, where am I? Here. Where's it? Yes, right here. Maybe we can something like this, and maybe do some video magic here. Then yes, I think it fits. If the shoe fits, I think we can confirm that this is the guy. This is cool. Seems like the guy, and but I know that I had more pictures. I have more pictures here. See, use our. This is the video that I made earlier. How do you expect us to be able to, give you information about the guy if you pull those stupid photos where you cannot see his face? That was so dumb. That was so dumb. Oh man. Oh, yeah. It looks like him. But I should check this with I should maybe drink some water, maybe wash my face, maybe take a nap. I don't know. But from this angle, it looks like him. There's yet another picture here that we could use. This one. Yeah, it seems like a match. Seems like it. The neck fits. So, no, he doesn't look trans. I knew. Remember that I told you both on X and told you here as well. I told you on both platforms that the bullets are inscribed with some pro-trans rhetoric. So it must be a trans. It doesn't look like a trans. It doesn't look like trans. And I saw so many people jumping on, oh, it's another trans shooter. I'm gonna hold my horses, but I'm not gonna say it. Not gonna say it. I will take a look at all the pictures and see what's going on in here. I'm gonna read your super chats. I apologize. So many of you have sent super chats. Thank you, Jen O, for your super chat. Why doesn't it appear? Jen O for your super chat. Thank you. Stinky, I saw your super chat. Yeah, the killer might have debated Charlie. Now we know apparently that it's not the same guy. It's not the same. I was watching that video, by the way. I can show you that. I can show you the video that Stinky mentioned. So we can, right here. This is the video that Stinky was mentioning. I had this. I was going to do. No, it's not the same guy. It's I already saw this and saw that his facial structure was way wider. No, this is not the guy. He was not debating it. But thank you, Stinky, for your tip and your super chat. KP, I have been watching you for a while now. I just want to say thank you for speaking truth and being light in the darkness. Thank you. I thank you, KP. I try to do my best. Sometimes, of course, I get too passionate about this because we have to do something, but we don't know what to do. What should we do? This is always the problem. I was telling you, I'm not gonna bother you. Just with that, maybe we could have some another live, another time. Super chat from Rolling Coconut. Yes, Jesus, we do love you and your show. Thank you. Gracias por traernos la verdad. Thank you, Rolling Coconut. Appreciate it for your super chat. Hardcore Spirituality. I also saw your super chat when you sent a thank you. Lack of critical thinking. That is what they lack. If they had, maybe they have this delusional way of approaching everything. And just as a programming, they have this the hive mind sense the programming, and they say this is what we're going to say now. Mostly peaceful and all the other stuff. Spanky Jones, Valhalla. Glad that father had the balls to detain and turn his radical son in. FBI had nothing to do with this capture. Pathetic grandstanding. Well, yes, it pretty much looks like it. They got lucky. The FBI got lucky. They just confirmed there was the same guy, but because of the video that they had. But if it was for them, since they were starting to release some of the footage, some of the steals from that footage, then that's how we thought that they must have reached a dead end in the investigation. Thank you, Post Tenebras Lux, for that. Modern gentleman, let's all remember, and Charlie often reminded us of this, that God works all things together for good. 100%. On point. We must count it all joy that we can see the evil for what it is. We must not let the spirit of anger control us. Agree, modern gentleman. This is Mick or MYK. This is Mormon thinking how they do at funerals. I think there was Valhalla. It's not for Vikings. I don't know. SJB. Thank you, SJB. Where are you here on the chat? Where are you in the chat? Is that just in case to assign you? Say something so I can assign you as a mod here. But I don't want to. But trolls are going to be all the time. SJB, thank you for being here. Say hi if you are still on the chat, so I can assign your mod status. Thank you, Benjamin Trutter, for your super sticker. Thanks for that. Mrs. J, I usually agree with you, but social media says cancer just created narcissists and people shouldn't watch the video. It's awful for the Kirk family. I agree with that. It's enough with the video. We got the point. We got the point with the video. It was a real wake-up call. It was an awful wake-up call. But enough with that. Enough with sharing the video. Enough. And I disagree. I think that social media is like everything, power, money, everything. It just amplifies what you have inside. If you are a piece of trash, then social media is basically going to amplify all the trash that you have within. It's that simple. And at the same time, social media helps us find so much stuff and investigation and everything. So it's like everything. It's like a hammer. I always said the analogy, the perfect analogy is a hammer. If people begin using hammers to, attack people at trains, what are you going to do? Ban hammers? Ban hammers? Ban people from buying hammers or something? No. Let me see. There's another SSJB again. Thank you for your super chat. And Marcus X, thank you for the super chat. That's quite a cryptic. As an Iraq war vet who don't get duped into war, watch Civil War with Sunni and Shia. You don't want that here. No, we don't want that in the least. Absolutely not. Well, oh my God, we had also Veronica. Where's Veronica? Veronica also live talks. I'm glad the governor did not start doing yoga and breathing exercises there for us. Yes, it was okay. How can I make this about me? That was the attitude. Well, I think that's it. I will keep. Maybe I will go grab some food. I'm starving. Drink some water, wash my face, and keep doing videos because there's so much happening. We were talking about the fatal stabbing of Irina Sarutska and Charlotte. We still have a video pending on that, on the claims that this monster has some kind of material inside him inserted by the government that was making him act in that way. That's all BS. I'm going to make a video about that. We are still pending with the case of the sisters from Scotland. You know, the girl with the knife and the hatchet. Complete silence from the authorities of Dundee. They said that they were going to say something this week. They have said nothing. I need to follow up on that. Tomorrow we have this big protest. How would say that? Protest, right? Manifestation. I always forget the word. In the UK with Tommy Robinson, I will be covering that as well. A lot of stuff happening in the world. We need to talk about in everything is connected. Tricia Frank, thank you for the super chat as well. Thank you. And before you go, remember the best way, easiest way, easy way, support my channel, subscribe. That's all that you need to do. Thank you for being here. Thanks for watching. Thank you for watching my videos. Thanks for subscribing, hitting that bell. And remember that the best way to reach out to me, Jesus, I have a tip. There's my X account there. I'm on X almost all day. There's my email if you need to send a longer text. All the way to reach out to me. My body language buddies, my name is Jesus Enrique Rosas. I'm the body language guy. And until we meet on another video or another live, remember the most important words: much love, and bliss. Take care. Be safe. I love every single one of you. Bye-bye.